Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Update, your go-to source for the latest news, expert insights, and real-time developments on Iraq's currency, economy, and financial reforms. Whether you're a long-time investor or just curious about the dinar, you're in the right place. In the midst of the current regional developments involving Israel and Iran, it's essential to examine not only the geopolitical implications, but also the significance of deliberate non-engagement by external actors such as the United States. The statement, "We're standing by and letting Israel do what they are doing with Iran," reflects a carefully calculated posture. This isn't a statement of apathy or abandonment of international responsibility, but rather a signal of strategic patience and discipline. By not directly involving itself at this stage, the U.S. appears to be maintaining a neutral stance, choosing not to inflame an already volatile situation while keeping all diplomatic and military options available should escalation demand them. This restraint allows for broader developments to play out on their own terms, particularly in relation to the plans and timelines that may be unfolding behind the scenes, such as economic initiatives, currency realignments, or international negotiations. The next phrase, "We are not in it as of now, we're not involved," emphasizes the conscious disengagement from any immediate military or direct diplomatic confrontation. It reinforces the concept that the United States, or perhaps the broader coalition that includes international financial and security stakeholders, is keeping a deliberate distance from immediate combat operations or public provocations. This could also imply that those awaiting developments in related sectors, particularly those tied to foreign currency, investment cycles, or economic restructuring, such as in Iraq or other regional economies, should not view this temporary conflict as an interruption of broader strategic timelines. Instead, they are encouraged to remain calm and patient. Now comes the forward-looking statement. Let's believe that we are going to move forward with the timeline that we have. This is a powerful moment of reassurance. It acknowledges the swirling uncertainty surrounding military engagements and political chaos, yet asserts that underlying long-term strategic plans are still in place. This is particularly relevant to those watching closely for significant economic reform, revaluation events, or transitional benchmarks such as the issuance of new currency notes, introduction of a digital economy, or the integration of a nation like Iraq into the global financial system. The statement is more than hopeful. It is grounded in the belief that planning and coordination at the highest levels are ongoing and intact. Continuing, the phrase that we will get notified, quite possibly Monday, and begin exchanges on Tuesday, speaks directly to the anticipation within specialized financial communities, those who have closely followed the process of monetary reform in countries like Iraq, the implementation of asset-backed digital currencies, or redemption events involving large denominations. This line doesn't imply certainty, but rather the expectation that formal communication will be made soon, possibly by Monday, leading to transactional activity the following day. The idea of exchanges beginning Tuesday suggests that infrastructure has been laid, agreements signed, back-end systems tested, and only a public notice remains before implementation. This refers to large-scale monetary policy shifts that don't simply change domestic banking operations, but usher in a completely restructured financial interaction with the global system. Zooming out, this statement is reflective of the complex interplay between geopolitical developments and deeply held expectations among those tracking international finance and foreign currency markets. Iraq's situation is especially relevant here, as it has long been considered a candidate for major economic transformation. This includes a shift from a cash-based society into a digitized banking infrastructure, a revaluation or reinstatement of its national currency to reflect true market value, and integration into platforms like SWIFT, ISO 20022, and global trade systems. The reference to potential notifications and exchanges aligns with a belief held by many that the Iraqi dinar, for example, is poised for a structural shift, wherein the Central Bank of Iraq would issue new lower-denomination notes, peg the dinar to a global asset basket, or float it in accordance with real effective exchange rate standards. These events would likely follow a period of measured stability and security, both of which have recently been affirmed by Iraq's leadership despite regional unrest. Even in light of military posturing or limited escalations with Iran, the key financial players appear to be communicating, subtly but clearly, that Iraq's reform process is insulated from these distractions. The role of American oversight, IMF consultations, CBI modernization programs, and international investment policies all play into this narrative. The suggestion that notifications may come Monday isn't random. It aligns with standard central banking cycles, global trading week openings, and policy announcement patterns. This is a message designed for a particular audience, those who understand the language of timing, currencies, and policy. It's speaking to those who have been patiently waiting for confirmation that what they believe to be a once-in-a-generation event is still unfolding. The instruction is not to panic at headlines about conflict. Instead, it's to stay focused on long-range plans. The statement calls for belief, not in the naive sense, but in a structured, strategic faith that planning trumps chaos. And what's most important is that this perspective provides an anchor for many amid the noise. People are not simply investing in a currency or waiting for a windfall. They are participating in a global shift toward economic sovereignty, modernization, and fairness. That includes moving nations like Iraq out of the shadows of war and instability and into the light of international participation and legitimacy. This potential transformation is not about mere profit. It's about nations reclaiming their financial identity. So when someone says, "Let's see how the weekend goes," what they are really doing is telling you to keep your eyes open. This is the calm before a potential shift, one where military tension might momentarily grab the headlines, but economic architecture quietly finishes taking shape in the background. Whether you're watching for public signals or private ones, stay ready. The momentum is building, and next week could be the start of a new phase. Thanks for tuning into Iraqi Dinar Update. If you found this content helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a beat on Iraq's evolving financial landscape. Stay informed and stay ready.